So last week was a dark day for YouTube and the internet in general. Let me tell you why here in just a second. Back at you here from Hawthorne Law, and unless you've been hiding under a cloud, if you're a YouTube creator, you know that last week the European Parliament voted to enact Article 13, which is I think now been renamed Article 17, and because I'm a lawyer we have to talk about this kind of stuff. So let's start with what exactly this means. What Article 13 actually did was, under old rules, the way things have worked, if you hold a copyright and you see somebody online that has posted something, usually in social media, YouTube, Facebook, wherever, Instagram, and they've stolen an image of yours, or they've stolen a video of yours, and they haven't even stolen, let's say it's fair use, let's say they could use that image because they did it in an artistic way, or they were making a commentary or something like that. They posted on their site. If you had a problem with that, then you could basically file a complaint with YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or whatever and ask them to take that post down. And so many of you are probably familiar with this. If you have gotten a copyright strike before on YouTube, then you know what I'm talking about. For countries in the European Union, what this Article 13 does is it changes that, and it actually says now that website that is hosting the image or the video or the music or whatever can be liable for the copyright violation. So basically there is no more safe harbor. The platform itself can be liable for the violation. These platforms that are in business to make money probably don't want to be sued, and so chances are, what do you think they're going to do? Well, they're going to probably stop allowing the posting of otherwise questionable material, even if there is a fair use for the person that's posting the material to use it. So what is the effect of this law going to be on you as a YouTube creator or somebody who's posting on social media a lot or growing your online business? I think the effect is, if you're in the European Union, this is going to suck, basically. It's going to suck. There's going to be a lot more restrictions on what you can post. If you want to post something that is commentary on something else, you're going to have a lot harder time doing that because the platforms are going to make it much more difficult for you to do that. And this is especially going to hurt smaller platforms that are just trying to get following and get people to use them and things like that. The bigger platforms like YouTube, they've already got systems in place to identify this potential violations. I mean, I can tell you, on my own channel, I use Epidemic Sound for music. I've had several videos where Epidemic Sound has already made claims and YouTube has demonetized those videos for me because they said that it was a copyright violation. Well, I've usually cleared it up pretty quickly. I send an email or I file a dispute with YouTube and say, hey, no, I've got a subscription with Epidemic Sound. There shouldn't be a violation. They apologize. It gets taken care of and no problem. If you're in the European Union, this is going to be a much bigger problem because YouTube might just take down the video entirely. We don't know. Honestly, we don't really know what they're going to do or how they're going to react to this or how the marketplace is going to change. Time will tell. So there needs to be another vote with the European Council. I'm not familiar with what I know what the European Parliament is. That's like the governing body over the EU. I'm not quite sure what the European Council is, but there needs to be another vote with the European Council. And then the member states have 2 years to implement these changes into their own national rules. So who could be affected by this? Well, if you are a gamer who does streaming, certainly that's something that's going to affect you. If you've posted a lot of memes before, if you create memes, they call it the meme killing bill or something to that effect. So chances are that's going to be a problem. Anything where you're posting something that is copyrighted by someone else, somebody else holds the copyright, is going to be a problem. And frankly, this is probably going to cause what we in the legal industry call a chilling effect, which means that just people are going to stop posting because it's going to be too much of a hassle. And that is a problem for the internet in general. That is something we don't want to see happen. The internet should be open and free. That's the way a lot of creators think. And as long as you're not infringing on somebody's copyright, now I know that happens a lot. I get calls from people. It does happen a lot. As long as you're not infringing on somebody's copyright, no harm, no foul, right? That's not the way the European Union sees it right now. In the United States, the law stays the same. If there's a violation, you report it to the website that posted the content, and they will take it down if they find that there's a violation. So they do more policing on their own, and they're not going to be liable. It's usually between you and the person that posted the material. they're the ones that are going to be responsible for any problems there. So what can we do about this? Well, if you're in the European Union, there's probably not a whole lot you can do. It's been enacted, and we can hope that there's some court challenges or something happens and it gets overturned. But in the short term, at least, there's not a whole lot you can do. This is probably going to move forward. The member states are going to enact their rules, and we're going to have to live with it. In the United States, what I would say is stay vigilant, stay educated, know what's going on, place calls to your representatives, do whatever you need to do. Obviously, we live in a free society where free speech is vitally important, but commercial speech is protected, and so there are a lot of constitutional issues around this. As of right now, everything is fine in the United States, but if you're posting in Europe, you're going to have issues. If you're living in Europe, or if you're a member of one of those member states, you're going to have problems. If you're curious on learning more about trademark and copyright and things like that, I'm in the process of putting together some playlists that address those. Head over here, you'll see this is a playlist that I put together for trademark copyright issues related to your online business. And that's it for today. Have a great one, folks. We'll talk soon.